I am at one of the most unique gardens at the Yard Garden Patio Show, and I'm with Steve from Prograss. And Steve, you from Prograss have designed this with a lot of interesting plants.
Yeah, Prograss and Garden World together came up with a group of plants that we thought would be really good for Northwest landscapes and plants that would add some interest to a typical property.
And you know, I think this brochure is great. And so it has all the information on all these plants, so you could take this with you and go to Garden World and maybe take something home.
The people at Garden World helped us a lot with making this list of plants with their cultural requirements, so that you can not worry about how to spell, and you can just enjoy the plants and maybe check off the ones that you like.
And you know, I think that people don't put a lot of interesting plants. I mean, they kind of see what their neighbors have and they want to look like their neighbors, but it is nice to kind of spice it up.
Well, you know, my specialty and my love of plants is in helping people decide what they should use. And a lot of times people don't know about these plants. They typically will shop at a big box retailer that probably will not have this stuff. So it's important to go to a specialty nursery like Garden World to find these things and be able to integrate them into your landscape.
And then how do you do that? Like, say you just have the regular suburban, you know, rhodies and a few azaleas, and then you want to put something interesting in, but you want to make it work. You want to make it blend in and look like it goes there.
Well, one thing is to not just use one plant. You know, I like to put in groups. So I like to select a location in the landscape and use colors and textures that will accommodate the landscape as it is already, but then still make it a little bit more interesting.
So you want to make sure that it's a focal point and then it's unique. I mean, you've paid a lot of money for these plants.
Oh yeah, you want them to be a focal point, but yet not stand out too much, so that it makes it look unusual. But these plants will really add a lot of interest to your landscape, because it's unfortunate, but most people use the same thing, you know, in every property, and it really gets kind of boring.
Right, and Prograss does have a service for that, a designer.
No, we do a lot of that. You know, landscape makeovers, I like to call it, where you go into a property and you don't necessarily take everything out, but you add more interesting plants to make it more unique to your own love and interest.
Okay. Well, you know, we've planted all these plants now, and now we have to take care of them. And I think you have a unique new product from Prograss that will help us make our watering simpler.
Definitely. A smart controller really helps a lot in taking the guesswork out of how to water your plants.
And can we go over and look at it?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Okay. Steve, now this is a new product from Rainbird that you're carrying. So what's so unique about it? What's different than my Rainbird at home?
Well, the Rainbird Smart Controller basically takes weather data and programmed information to actually measure and correct and change the amount of water that your landscape is getting daily. And so, you know, instead of using a regular controller that would work like a timer and just go on and off to a certain amount of water every time, this will actually change.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's not set every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday it waters?
No, it'll water when it needs to, and it'll measure rainfall, it'll measure temperature. It's programmed with preset weather information, and also we program it with specifics about your landscape so that it knows what kind of landscape it's watering.
So what if you have a system already? Do I have to take out everything and start from scratch?
No, this replaces your existing controller. The old one's just taken out. This one's put in. This is put outside on your fence or gutter. And it's just a programming issue. You could attach it to any sprinkler system.
And does Prograss come out and do all that then?
Yes, we do. We install it and we program it for you.
And so if we go on the website or we come down to the Yard Garden Patio Show, we could talk to you about it.
And I'll be doing a seminar today at 4 on how to get the most out of your sprinkler system. And also on our website, on the Prograss.com website, we have videos on YouTube on how this controller works and what it does.
That always really helps. Well, you know, this time of year you don't have to worry about watering, but it's great to get the information now because it's going to be the heat of summer pretty soon.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for all the information.
Sure.
Have a great show.
Thanks.